I've just been feeling kind of drained lately. I'm making a tomato salad for dinner right now, and I'm so excited because my own tomato seedlings are almost ready. They're not seedlings anymore. They're almost ready to go into the ground, and actually one of them already has a few little cherry tomatoes on them because I've been putting them outside, hardening them off, and I am just so excited for gardening this summer. So these aren't my own tomatoes. I'm just saying I'm excited to have my own tomatoes to do things like this. Hey, it's Amber. Welcome to this week's vlog. If this is your first time here, I make videos about kind of crunchy motherhood lifestyle and about trying to conceive baby number 2. Tomorrow I have got my mid-cycle ultrasound. It'll be cycle day 10 for our second IUI. First IUI, if you've been following along, did not work, unfortunately, so we're gonna give it another try. The last couple of weeks have been kind of rough. The metformin that I've been taking twice daily has been not frequently, but randomly making me sick, and that's actually almost worse because I'll be fine for a few days, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'm sick to my stomach for half the day, and then I'll actually get sick. So I emailed my doctor and I asked him if it was still worth it to take it if I just went down to taking it once a day instead. And a nurse responded and was like, yeah, go ahead and drop down if it's consistently making you sick. So I'm just taking it once a day now. Otherwise, I've just been feeling kind of drained lately, just from the last nearly 2 years at this point of trying to get pregnant and just throwing everything I can at it, just giving my all, trying to optimize our chances as much as possible, including, I'm going to tell you now so someone doesn't tell me in the comments, including trying to just not do anything, trying to not think about it too much, not stress about it, not track things, and just having nothing work. I feel almost like I'm running a marathon, but on a treadmill where there's no tangible finish line, if that makes sense. And unfortunately, maybe this is a bad sign. I feel like since we've been going to a fertility clinic, the speed on the treadmill has increased a little bit. And I think it's just because now everything is way more monitored and timed, and I'm going to this fertility clinic that's an hour away 3 to 4 times a month, which maybe doesn't sound like that much, but when you're trying to work around being a stay-at-home mom with a almost 3-year-old, it feels like a lot. And on top of everything, I feel like this is the first time since we started trying for another baby that I'm losing a little bit of hope. I haven't lost hope completely, but I've just been so sure that it's gonna happen this whole time. And for the last couple months, I don't know, my hope is just, it's dipping a little bit. The appointment itself was literally 3 minutes. That's the part that I just can't get over ever, that I have to drive myself all the way out here, which an hour isn't that bad, but to just sit there for 2, maybe 3 minutes and then that's it, and then have to come back. walking in my basement so that I can give my child like 5-10 more minutes to nap, since this is the first time in like 2 weeks that he's taken a good long solid nap. Things have just been a little bit off. But here's the update in chronological order. I went and got the ultrasound, and right after, results were showing up in my portal. The reason I didn't share right away though is because last cycle I thought the same thing, that I was seeing the complete result. And I didn't find out until later that evening when a nurse called me that they hadn't uploaded everything into my portal. So I thought I was seeing the full picture and I wasn't, and it kind of confused me. So this time I was like, I'll just wait. But I found out that when my nurse called me, that was everything. So I have one mature follicle, this time on my left side, and it's only one. Last cycle, there were 2, possibly 3 mature follicles. I was a little bit confused about this because there was only 2 follicles showing up in my results this time around, and last time there was 6. So I was like, do I only have 2 follicles? Am I missing something? And the nurse told me that generally they don't do a complete follicle count. They just are looking for cysts or mature sized follicles. And she looked in my portal and she was like, yeah, last time I see that your nurse uploaded like everything, but that's generally not what we do, which I have to say I kind of don't like, because I'm just a bit type A, and so, or maybe I'm really type A, I don't know, but I just feel like for this type of thing, you should just have a procedure or a process that you follow the same way every single time, and if there's some kind of exception that needs to be made, that you let the patient know. So I think it's just because like this is just such a vulnerable time. It's for anyone to be in. It's a vulnerable place, and so for that exact reason that I was like, oh my gosh, I had 6 follicles, now I only have 2, but that's not it. They just weren't counting everything. They also checked my endometrial thickness last cycle. It was under 7, I think millimeters is the unit of measurement. So we're just gonna go with that. Last time it was under 7, but it was so close to 7 that they said it's fine. This time it was 7.5 something. So I guess that's good. I still don't completely understand why they check that at all, since implantation doesn't happen until a week after ovulation, roughly. When the nurse called me, she told me that we are good to go ahead and trigger and schedule the IUI. She said that we could do the IUI today, which is Thursday, or tomorrow, Friday. The only thing was that we can't do it at the office that we normally go to, because the person that washes and processes the semen sample is not going to be there. So we have to go to a further office. There are 2 options, and they're both over an hour, and they're only like 15-20 minutes apart. We decided to go ahead and schedule the IUI for tomorrow, Friday. So she told me to trigger last night at 11 p.m. And she also said that if I like can't stay awake, she was like, it's fine, just do it right away in the morning when you get up. But she was like, you know, we do like to leave a little bit of a bigger window if we can, which also kind of contradicts what we were told last month, because last month it wasn't even 24 hours after the trigger that we did the IUI. So I guess I'm glad to be trying something different since it didn't work last time. I don't want to just keep doing the exact same thing over and over again, even though I did just say that there should just be a process and you do it the exact same way every single time. But I don't know, I guess I'm a little all over the place. So we have to drop Kai off at my parents' in the morning early, and then we have to get over there to do the whole thing. And I'm bummed mostly just because there's a cute little like downtown area right down the street from the clinic that we normally go to, and Alex and I really like it. There's a cute coffee shop, there's a good restaurant, there's all kinds of really cute little shops, and so I don't want to say that we like look forward to going to the clinic because of that, but it's become more familiar. Like there are things that we look forward to doing in that area if we have to go to the clinic, and now we have to go somewhere completely new, and it's fine. So first part is done, so now we wait. It's done. Tacos seem to be our thing post-procedure. Very quick update. The pre and post wash analysis of the sample for the IUI yesterday were both really, really good. And I mean, in this case, the post wash is really what matters. The pre wash matters too, in as far as getting a general picture for how things are looking on Alex's end, but the post wash is what's actually like going into me for the IUI. So that's what really technically matters. And last time, it wasn't bad per se, but it wasn't great. It wasn't bad enough for them to be like, there's no point in doing this, but they did say it wasn't quite what they were hoping for. This time, the analysis was really, really good. Like, they were like, this is great, and it definitely improves the chances of the IUI working. That being said, I still don't want to get my hopes up. Knowing that the analysis, the post-wash analysis, was significantly better gives me a spark of hope, but at the same time, I don't want to go through the next 2 weeks with the mindset that like it's definitely going to work because of that, and then just to be super let down if it doesn't work. So I am going to, I actually think, try to just wait until the day they told me to test instead of taking a bunch of them, because it's a give and take. It did kind of mess with me a little bit last cycle, but at the same time, it was, I guess, in a sense, kind of nice to have a little bit of a heads up that I probably wasn't pregnant. I think I would have been so much more devastated on the actual official pregnancy test date if I would have waited, as opposed to doing what I did. But I think just for the sake of my mental health, I'm just going to wait until that day. The procedure itself was so much less uncomfortable. It wasn't even that uncomfortable the first time, but this time I didn't even feel the nurse put the catheter in. The last time around, I could feel the catheter, like once it went as far as it could, I could feel it like poking me. I didn't feel anything like that. The only thing I felt was the nurse putting the speculum in and, like cranking it open. I was like, are you sure that you did it? Which she did. Yeah, so that was very nice. We're gonna run to Lowe's right now. I need to get a hanging basket for one of my cherry tomato seedlings. I don't know if I should call it a seedling now, because it's not like this anymore. It's like a more mature plant, but it's called Cherry Falls, and apparently this kind of cherry tomato plant is meant to be in a hanging basket because the foliage like cascades down, which I think will be really pretty and like a really nice addition to our patio. When I got it, I didn't realize that that's how it was. So I was like, can you put it in the ground? And everything I read said that you could, but you just might end up with like branches and leaves kind of everywhere. So gonna go get a basket. And I also want to get, I think, probably a jalapeno pepper plant, since I wasn't able to grow 3 mature bell pepper plants. I figured instead I would do a 3rd pepper plant, but like a spicy pepper. I'm gonna go ahead and end this vlog here. For the record though, I have not taken any LH tests or pregnancy tests, and I am not planning to until the end of the 2-week wait. I will let you know what happens though at the end of this cycle, but for the next couple weeks, I am just gonna focus on spending time with my family, start of summer activities, growing my garden, and I also have family coming in for the next few weeks. So all of that should keep me plenty preoccupied. I'm feeling good right now though. There is a small part of me that like wants to whisper, this is gonna be it. This is going to be the time it happens, but I don't wanna listen too much to that because it will just be like a really big letdown if it doesn't happen. So I am just going to be living my life for the next couple weeks, just enjoying it, and whatever happens, happens, and I will be okay with it no matter what. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.